In 1200 meters. Starter hit the lever, runners sent on their way from the 1200. The favourite Ice runs off to lead them. Colonel Bling is right there with the blinkers. They are followed by Roy's Whistle at the rail third, then Burmese Falcon. On the outside of that is Street Boy. Then the Deer Hunter. Further back is Led Zeppelin. Towards the outside, Adderley Street, and then comes Smart World and Nutcracker. Ice Run takes them to the 600. Street Boy is second. Colonel Bling is at the rail third. Adderley Street, Burmese Falcon between the two of them. They are followed further back in the running by Led Zeppelin. Smart World's going wide out on the track, and further back is Nutcracker. As they turn for home, and Ice Run is the leader. Towards the inside, Colonel Bling's going to try and put on the pressure. Then Burmese Falcon, Adderley Street on the outside. Ice Run the leader. Colonel Bling tries to make it a race now. Colonel Bling and Ice Run as they come down to the 200. Ice Run now comes under pressure from Colonel Bling, but Ice Run is finding that a little bit extra, and it's Ice Run and Anton Marcus on a spree. This is number 3. Colonel Bling second, then Burmese Falcon and Roy's Whistle. Yeah, Anton Marcus on a spree, number 3. The first 3 on the card for Anton. This one for Tony Riverland, the Western Winter, Mary Liley and Cassim. And this one bred by Backworth Stud. Took the lead shortly after the start. Colonel Bling threw out a challenge, got to within 3/4 of a length. And then Ice Run finds that extra, draws off again, and ends up winning it by about 3 lengths at the business end. Colonel Bling will run into second. Third position, it's a long way back to Burmese Falcon, who runs into third, and then Roy's Whistle. Further back in the field is Smart World, Adderley Street, and then came Led Zeppelin as we run it across. It's a well-detached field, and further back is the Deer Hunter and Nutcracker. And the winner on the tote at 120 is the tote favourite. So the head-on will show Ice Run. Colonel Bling moves through down the inside, and Ice Run now gets asked the question, but he quickens up really well, and he then moves away from the opposition to win it by about 2.5 to 3 lengths. That's the running of the third. The fourth race starts off the jackpot. Back to the studio.
A nice result for trainer Tony Riverland, bringing 2 horses to the races this evening. He's finished a third earlier on, and he's got a win here with the odds-on favourite Ice Run. And I must say, nicely placed. You have a look at the fixtures, the way horses have been scratched at final declarations, and when the field cuts up as bad as this did, you must have been smiling that day when you saw this field cut up to the field that it did.
Yes, I was, Dees. And, you know, I'm surprised that a lot of guys scratch. You can really win from anywhere in this poly. I really believe that. Yes, some days the front horses seem to keep rolling, but plenty of horses win from behind here in 12-horse fields. We just got to try and stop the interference on the outside. It's habit. This horse went down the centre of the course, you know, drifted a little bit late. Just try and get into the jock's heads to run straight into, you know, when they turn for home, so at least it's fair racing for the guys from behind.
We often moan about prices of horses, but this horse, we expected him to be deep in the red, especially after the scratching of Laf's horse.
Correct. Look, he's run against a bit stronger than this field, and I've always felt that Greyville would suit this horse. I'll tell you why. He's quite a hard puller, Dees, and round the turn they often settle a little bit going round the turn. He didn't really settle that much with Anton today, but I thought it was a very clever ride. He turned for him, he gave him a chance. He hasn't run for 7 weeks. He's had a second African horse sickness vaccination in between. You always worry about that a little bit, but he gave him a little breather. That also Gavin's moved next to him, and then he shook him up, and I was pleased to see him keep finding, you know, and that's, I think Gavin's horse might have flattened a little bit, but at least he kept finding to the line, and no, it was a good run. He'll win his races. He's no superstar, but he'll win 4 or 5 races.
For the followers of Highway Explorer early on, any excuses? I know it was his first run on the surface.
Not really. That's how I explore. He's loaded with ability. The minute he gets up next to a horse, hangs. He's looking to box instead of race. You know, I mean, he only got beaten half a length. It's not like he was disgraced. It was a very competitive field. maybe put the blinkers back on him and try and get a jock to ride him where he races on his own. I think that's the secret. Obviously, well done to Mary and Farouk. Mary sold Farouk a small share in this horse. Been an old client of mine from the Passmore's days. Used to own a great horse called Regency. I mean, a really great horse. And he's had some good horses in his time. He's a wonderful man. He's been a friend for a long time, and I'm really pleased that he can come here and get a picture with Mary.
Well done.
Thank you, Dees.
Tony Ruvelin. Let's get Farouk Kassem in with Mrs. Liley. And Farouk, Tony just mentioning he's a gentleman that's been in the game forever and he's had a lot of horses with Tony. Mr. Kassem, a hearty congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Talking about your relationship with Tony, it's a long-standing one.
Oh yes, about 35 years ago. About when he was 18 years old.
Well, you've survived this long in the game. You're obviously doing something, right?
We're doing something, yes.
And
I'm
this
doing something. You know, I've got to be very thankful to Mary. She put me a share in this horse, and I'm very grateful to her.
Mrs. Liley, you're having a good run with your horses. Things are looking bright.
Yes, thank you. Yes, the horses are running nice, thanks to Tony. And no, everything's going well at the moment, so we just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best for the future.
Well, gracious of you giving a share away. You don't normally race in partnerships, just having a look at most of your horses.
No, I don't normally race in partnership, but Mr. Kassem said he liked the horse, and jokingly I said, would you like a share of that? And he said yes. So hence he's my partner.
I don't know if the betting interests you much, but you must have had many horses throughout your ownership that have been odds-on favorite like this horse. Are the nerves different from any other horse?
The what difference?
The nerves in the parade ring, you got an odds-on favorite.
No. Only big races excite me.
But this horse has delivered for you, Mrs. Liley. And
Yes, he's won nicely, very nicely. Thank
long
you.
may it continue.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Well done to Mrs. Liley with number 3, Ice Run, who's come through to win, beating number 1, Colonel Bling. Back in third was number 2, Burmese Falcon. And then rounding off that quartet was number 4, Roy's Whistle. And the best cameraman on course, he gives me the thumbs up, so those numbers are correct. Now, coming up next is the first leg of the jackpot, and that time to jot down will be 19:45. That's at 7:45. Coming up next, the first leg of this evening's jackpot. Well done to everybody concerned. Farouk Kassem, Mary Liley, Tony Rivelin, and of course, jockey Anton Marcus for the odds-on favorite in race number 3.